This is my TBR shelf. As you can see, it's a tad messy, just a tad. But we'll be saying goodbye to the shelf because I feel like I'm ready for something new. And so in today's video, we'll be building and organizing a new TBR system, setting up a hopefully aesthetic reading corner, and going through every book on my physical TBR. It's so bare in this corner now. It's kind of sad. But the books have been deshelved. The shelf is gone to new loving home, aka my mother, because she doesn't have a bookshelf, and the only way it looks like she was going to get one is if I got her one. Yeah, who's the parent in this relationship? Apparently that's debatable. So she now is my shelf, while I have -1 shelf. Let me sit you guys up. I also have more books to add to my ever-growing TBR. Don't get ahead of yourself. Y'all have seen these. These are the books I hauled a couple videos back. I'm choosing to ignore this unorganized mess right now. It's bothering me too. But first, we need to set my new carts up. I put aside my irrational fear of going to Walmart and picked these up the other day because they were the cheapest for what I was looking for. You know me, always trying to save those dollar bills. I'm sure Bookstagram has made y'all aware of the TBR cart system, and I'm not gonna feel ashamed for hopping on this bandwagon because it's a cute concept. Okay, let's get to it.
It is 11:30 and my day has finally ended. I am going to go now. What book we are going to be, well, what 2 books we're going to be reading.
I am so stupid. I could not take the unordered any longer, so I went ahead and organized the TBR by genre as well. The carts weren't too hard to put together once I found the wrench I was sitting on. Here's that wrench. Was I sitting on it? The goal is to have these books fit on those 2 carts. Am I delusional in thinking that will happen? Quite possibly. I feel like most people would want their TBR to fit on 1 cart, but I have to be real with myself and acknowledge my book shopping addiction. At least I can't say I'm not honest. Maybe in the future, the very distant future, 10 years down the line, when I'm the girl boss I'm manifesting for myself, I can get the TBR down to 1. That would be ideal. You know, we're getting down to business when the glasses come out, but we need to be strategic here. So, I drew a diagram. These are my 2 carts. I know. They're oozing, wow, she's in the wrong career energy. Thank you. I actually need to take these off. I think I am ruining my eyesight. Watch me go to my next eye appointment and my optometrist is like, Sarah, your eyesight is significantly worse. And I'll be like, I wonder why. All right, I have 96 books on my TBR, which means each shelf will need to hold approximately 16 books, but if I wanted to group them by genre, I have 31 romances, 42 mystery and thrillers, 2 nonfiction, 5 fantasy, and 16 general fiction, whether that's contemporary, literary, historical. So if I were to evenly divide those categories across my TBR shelf, but also take into account leaving 1 shelf for my monthly/seasonal TBR, I would want to do something like this. Alright, cool, let's shelve my books. As I go through these, let me know which of these books I should prioritize, as I'm pretty indecisive, but that's what I have y'all for, obviously. These 2 shelves I'm going to dedicate to romances. I'm not going to talk much about the plot of the books, though I'd love to be here with y'all all day. I have 2 furry children who will throw a tantrum if I go too long without giving them attention. Bunny tantrums are a real thing, my friends. I have a few hardcover romances, a rarity in the romance genre, really. These are mostly from Book of the Month. Figures. I have Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld, which I've been saving for when I need a rom-com as a pick-me-up, as this is centered around an SNL type talk show, and so I'm loving those multimedia vibes. Before Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I know this follows a divorced couple, but I'm excited to see the co-parenting of their 2 children. Unpopular opinion. I love it when our MCs have little obstacles, probably IRL annoying little obstacles. The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. Honestly, has anyone read this book? For how big of an author duo Christina Lauren are, I would have expected this new release to get more hype, such as Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm debating whether I want to squeeze this in before summer is completely over, because I know if I don't get to it in September, it's what the hell is on my book. Because I know if I don't read it in September, it's not gonna happen until next summer. But I don't know, sometimes when there's so much hype on the internet around a certain book, I just don't wanna read it. Because I'm like, everyone else is already talking about this right now. Is there really anything new I can bring to the conversation? Which I know is silly, but these are the things to think about as a booktuber. Moving into paperbacks, Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. You can tell just by the cover how long this book has been on my TBR. I'm going to try to keep books by the same author together, so this book will be going here. Actually, that's better. I have 2 Colleen Hoover books. It Starts With Us and Never Never. It Starts With Us I have not read yet because I was never an Atlas stan, nor a Ryle fan. Definitely not. I do want to get to it, but that's going to be like the phrase of this video. I do want to get to it, but I just haven't yet. And then Never Never, I believe, is an older release from Colleen Hoover, but I think this one has some thriller undertones in it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, this is also by Taryn Fisher, so I'm probably right. But I'm intrigued by this one. Let's do romances that are a part of a series next. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I've heard great things about this book, but I've avoided this book for so long now that it's just easier to continue avoiding it than reading it. I know it doesn't make sense, but maybe some of y'all can relate. The Goal by Elle Kennedy. The Off-Campus series is not like an all-time favorite of mine, but these books give off a certain vibe that every once in a while I'm in the mood for, even though I know it won't be a 5-star. Again, I don't make sense. Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I will be getting to soon, along with The Resurrection of Wildflowers. The Confidence of Wildflowers was such an easy 5-star for me, and y'all know I've become picky with my 5 stars, so super excited about this one. Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. I am so in the mood to read this book. This whole series, really. Mafia romances, let me tell you. A wild time. When in Rome by Sara Adams. This looks so cute. It looks so cute. I was planning on reading last fall, but that didn't happen, and I've heard nonstop about it since. So I'm going to prioritize this fall. Well, that's the plan at least. The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, one of my favorite authors. The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, another one I want to get to this fall for some witchy fun. It's getting a little tight down here. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Yes, that's right. She was sitting on the shelf at Barnes one day in the clearance section, of all sections. Don't know why she was there, but not complaining. Funny You Should Ask by Elisa Sussman. I know the second book in this series has not gotten the best reviews, but this one has, supposedly. So at this point, I'm not really planning on continuing the series unless this one blows me away, because obviously I am not experiencing a shortage in romances. I love this cover, by the way. I could stare at this all day. I have the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey, Secretly Yours, a recent Tessa Bailey purchase, and then the Loathe to Love You 3 Stemness novella collection by Ali Hazelwood. Moving into my standalone romances, The Stand-In by Lily Chu. Why is this novel so long? Oh my god. Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I can't lie to you all and say I bought this because of the plot. No, it was for the lilac cover. And thus reading this has not really been a priority, as you can understand. The turtles are kind of cute though. Heart and Soul by Jen Frederick, which I think is part of a series. This may even be the second book in the series. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, I'm fairly certain you can read these as standalones. Don't really have any plans on picking up the first book, so that is what I'll be doing. Lease on Love by Fallon Ballard. Life as We Know It. Sara, that is the godparent trap, not the movie that reminds you so much of this book. My bad. It Had to Be You by Georgia Clark. I've said this before about bouquets on covers, but they do something to me. I black out in the store and then I regain consciousness once I've checked out with the book. How dangerous, right? Neon Gods by Kate Roberts. I am scared to read because Greek mythology is so outside my comfort zone. Like, I vaguely remember reading The Odyssey back in high school and not comprehending it whatsoever. Who makes high schoolers read The Odyssey? Technically, this is part of a series, so we'll put it over here. Just Like Magic by Sara, 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Louise, and The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox are the Christmas-esque rom-coms I own. I can make a whole reading vlog at this point titled Reading Holiday Rom-Coms, so that once winter rolls around and more are released, I will feel better about inevitably purchasing more. How satisfying is that? That is perfect. I do have After the graphic novel, which, where should this go? I'm just going to squeeze her in on the end here. Moving on to thrillers and mysteries, which will be going on this top shelf. And I'm gonna switch this out real quick. This bottom shelf, starting with predominantly hardcovers, I have Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I really need to get to this one as I've only read, what is that book? Things We Do in the Dark. I liked it alright, but I would like to read more from Jennifer Hillier so I can get a better grasp of her as a writer. One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. Let me give you 3 buzzwords. Hairdresser, housewife gossip, murder. Oh, it sounds so good. Magic Lies and Deadly Pies by Misha Pop. She Started It by Sian Gilbert, and So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. Both seem to revolve around getting married in some way, but these are thrillers, so I don't think these couples will be getting a traditional happy ever after fairy tale wedding. The Collective by Allison Galen. I actually was about to read this the other day. I picked it up, read the first page, and was like, actually, I don't think I'm in the mood for a thriller. I know! I never thought I'd live to see the day that Sara would not be down for a thriller. Not in a million years, but alas. Though I had literally 30 minutes prior finished another thriller, so maybe that's why I was still in the digestive phase, you know? The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. The title is giving Manipulative Family, which sounds fun. I have 3 Lisa Jewels, The Family Upstairs. None of this is true. And Then She Was Gone, my borrow from my mom. This is the only Lisa Jewell book my mom has read. Mom, what are you doing? What am I doing as her resident librarian? I should be the one hooking her up. We're having some trouble. Oh no. Cut to commercial. I have 3 Karen Slaughters, which I believe have been on my TBR since I last filmed a reorganization video. So the goal is that by the next time I film this type of video, I will have had read, I'm gonna say at least 2 of these. Those are Pieces of Her, False Witness, and Girl Forgotten. All right, bring her back in. Next, I've got 2 Riley Sagers, Survive the Night, and his 2023 release, the only one left. 2 Ruth Wares, The It Girl, and The Lying Game. And then 3 Sally Hepworths, The Soulmate, The Good Sister, and The Mother-in-Law. Look, it's pretty simple when it comes down to it. If I read a book I enjoy, the next logical step is to go out and buy more from that author. 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. I'm so excited to dive back into the truly devious world with this novel. The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Modolfsky. And then the only other YA thriller I have at the moment, 5 Total Strangers by Natalie D. Richards, which should not be mistaken for 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, even if they do follow similar storylines. I have 2 Frida McFaddens, the It author on BookTok currently. The Inmate and The Locked Door. 3 novels from the queen of murder mystery. Death on the Nile, Halloween Party, and Murder in Retrospect. All Hercule Poirot murder mysteries, mind you. J'adore Monsieur Poirot. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to have to put some mysteries and thrillers in the back. It's just gonna have to work. The First Shot and The Stranger in the Mirror by Liv Constantine, the same author of, I don't know if you've heard of this little book, The Last Mrs. Parrish. Great book. I'm going to turn this around actually so we can see what's going on. All right, standalones. The Perfect Family by Robin Harding. The Dinner by Herman. Shreya, why'd you recommend me this book? The Overnight Guest by Heather Gutenkopf. The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. In order to air out my confessions, I must let y'all know that I've yet to read Confessions. Maybe I should stop trying to create transitions. I think it would be for your own good. Come on, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. This is getting heavy. I'm gonna put some in the back here too. Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. This is one of those thrillers that you always see but is not really talked about. I do know there's like a book within a book element in here. I always love a good meta moment in a novel. Envy by Sandra Brown. And then these 3, When You See Me and The Next Accident by Lisa Gardner, and The Woman Outside My Window by Rachel Ryan. I will be keeping back here for the foreseeable future because of the spines. Is that shallow? Yes. This next shelf I'm gonna put the rest of my fiction, fantasy, and nonfiction on. I have 3 Ellen Hildebrands for whenever I want to read in which I can acquire some new fictional friends. Those are Summer of '69, The Hotel Nantucket, autographed edition. That's my second autographed Ellen Hilderbrand. Both I got from the Green Valley Book Fair, of all places, and 28 Summers. Rootless by Krista Zaro Apia. Tomorrow and 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 tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I know I need to get to this one as this was one of the top books of 2022, but the mood hasn't hit yet. But I'm looking forward to the day when this beckons me. Before the coffee gets cold, this one has called my name, but I've been purposely putting it off until winter. Y'all know I love aligning my reading with the season. It's so tiny next to that big book. When True Loves by my all-time favorite author, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Rooney next to Reid. What an iconic duo. The Lost Ticket by Freya Sampson. Okay, this does not relate to the book, but can we as a society vote to manufacture more of these buses in America? I'm sure that's a great way to spend our tax money. Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austin. Heartburn by Nora Ephron. When I bought this, I did not realize that this was first published in the 80s, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just assumed from this more modern cover that it was a new release, but no. Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. When Life Gives You Lululemons by Lauren Weisberger, a book I bought, yes, because it reminded me of Lululemon. Can you blame me? Milk Fed by Melissa Broder. And then the only YA contemporary I have at the moment, Tiny Pretty Things. Moving into the 5 fantasy I currently own. Look, it's not ideal shelving these in the back here, but I'm not buying a third cart, okay? I have 2 books in the Shatter Me series. Still have not read Shatter Me yet. Restore Me and Defy Me. I bought these when Shatter Me was in its like peak era, and I was like, sure, I'm gonna get around to reading the series soon. This was like over a year ago. I have Valve Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, The Blood Spell by CJ Redwine, and Flock by Kate Stewart. Is this a fantasy? A romance? A romantasy? I don't know, but it's staying with the fantasy for now. To juxtapose the fantasy, I have 2 memoirs. When Breath Becomes Air, which I think is going to hit too close to home to my recent life, so I don't expect reading this anytime soon. Eventually, probably more like next year though. And then In the Dream House by Carmen Marie Macondo. This top shelf I'm going to leave blank for my monthly / seasonal TBR. So once I film my fall TBR, those books will be going here. But wow, I'm really enjoying how everything's coming along so far. I have been filming all day though, and therefore I am tired, so I'm going to go take a break, and then once I get back we can set up the rest of this reading corner. Hi guys, it's now a couple days later. Let me show you my chair. I inherited this chair from my grandma. Thank you, Grandma, which I'm going to be using in the reading corner. Yesterday, I spent like all day scrubbing her down, so although she's still looking a bit dingy, it's nothing a throw pillow and blanket can't fix. When I was first scrubbing her down, I wasn't wearing any gloves because I wasn't using a chemical cleaner or anything, so I didn't really think I needed it. Yeah, half of my hands swelled up afterwards because a dog used to sit on this, and I, someone allergic to dogs, did not think of that. Anyways, I'm going to now move the chair. I have a few pictures to put together and mount, and I will do any other finishing touches. Don't tell my landlord? Welcome to my new reading corner. Come here, come here. Let me show you a bit closer. Over on the left-hand side, we have my chair, which I spruced up a bit with 2 throw blankets. Yeah, that's right. We're double throwing it. This green one is from Target, which I got to match my pillows on my bed. And then this luscious chunky monkey is from Amazon. I actually have 2 of these. The other one is on my couch. This throw pillow is temporary. This is supposed to go in my family room, but with my fall decor up, I am not using it right now, but eventually I will need to change that out. On the wall, I wanted to hang up some bookish prints, so I got these 2 from Etsy. I'll link them down below. The one on the left is a Carrie Soto is Back inspired one. Love that book, one of my favorites. And then on the right, that is actually a beach read inspired one, which, you know, I didn't love beach read, but the vibes. So I framed those prints, stuck them up on the wall along with this sun, which I've had for like ever. I love anything celestial with faces on it. I find it so funny. We are just going to ignore this corner with this tape on the wall. I cannot take it down without peeling the paint off as well. So if you have any recommendations about how to go about that, I'd love to hear it. And then of course we have my carts, which I decorated with some plants, TJ Maxx and Target. When I put my monthly / seasonal TBR here, I will need to rearrange this, but for now I like the added greenery it brings to the corner. Again, it's not ideal having some books back there, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie has to crumble. This corner is still a work in progress, but I'm really looking forward to having a new reading spot, though I bet my couch will still be my go-to. It's going to be nice to change things up once in a while. I think eventually I would like each shelf on my TBR cart to be a different genre. I think that would be really satisfying, while also ensuring I'm reading a wide array of books, which I always try to do. I'm really curious to know how many books are on y'all's TBR. Are you a book hoarder? Book collector, like I am? Also, let me know your favorite go-to reading spot. Where do you crash after a long day with your book and a cup of coffee? Maybe a glass of wine, I don't know your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me and my channel out a lot. You can also comment, interact, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. I'd really appreciate it. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day, a fantastic week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.